The Rembrandts at 9:05.
Fantasy Radio Weather Watch with alarms and electrical devices, keeping you safe whatever the weather.
A chilly start to the day with patchy mist, but a dry day following with some sunny spells. Feeling chilly through the day despite light winds and a maximum temperature of 9 degrees. Tonight it'll be dry with light winds and clear spells, these conditions helping temperatures to fall to freezing and give patchy frost and fog by morning. Minimum temperature -1. The outlook for tomorrow, fog may be slow to clear in the morning, but it'll be another dry and chilly day across Devizes and mid-Wiltshire with plenty of sunny spells and light winds. Maximum temperature tomorrow 9 degrees. Currently we've got 6.1 on the Corn Exchange roof, which is a good start to the day with no trouble at all. 9:05. This is Van Morrison. And after we've heard from Van, I'll be having a chat with a local man who you probably know better than you think you do. It's Bill Huntley will be here after Van Morrison. That's Van the Man, Van Morrison, with Brown Eyed Girl. It's 9:08, and I don't know whether you get home at night and you sort of go into the sitting room and you put it on and you think, after about 25 minutes, you turn and look at each other and say, there's nothing on the telly tonight. Well, there's a bit of a change in prospect, because if you wanted to watch something and you can't find something decent on the telly, we've got something interesting to tell you about, because it's called Devizes Television, which is it's not exactly television, but it's the closest thing. And I've got with me this morning Bill Huntley, who's been involved in Devizes Television. Morning, Bill.
Good morning, Phil.
Tell us all about it then.
Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you're going to enjoy this sort of chat I'm going to have with Phil, telling you about Devizes Television. It started off, as so many things do, with just a kind of throwaway conversation. I was talking to a gentleman in the Sham. Those of you that don't know me, you probably do, because I've got a stall in the Shambles and been there since 1864, it seems. It's basically selling all the household goods, toilet rolls, kitchen towels, that type of stuff. And I'm next to Kevin's Menswear. I was talking to a gentleman called Maryon-Davis, who has got a history in media, filming and so on, and he's a professional photographer as well. And we were chatting on my stall one day, having been introduced by a third party, and about promoting Devizes, because it's a beautiful town. Most of the people in it, with a few notable exceptions, are nice people. Yeah. And we were saying, that Devizes really could do with promoting, so that people away from the town think, oh, I'd love to go there and have a look round, and got chatting about this, that and all the other. And Howard, obviously being a media man, said, well, look, I'm thinking about starting up Devizes Television, which is going to be an internet-based channel. Would you be interested in being the presenter? And so I said, let me think, yes. And so it's kind of gone on from there, and we're having great fun doing it, meeting some really interesting people, and doing what we want to do, which is promote Devizes and the people as well.
Great. Well, obviously, we're very much behind this, because that's what we're all about, is promoting Devizes. Devizes, the community of Devizes. As you say, it's a great little town to be involved in. Mm-hmm. And I know that I've seen one or two little clips from the Devizes Television, and you're obviously very enthusiastic about it on the TV there.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great fun. I mean, I've got a face which is made for radio, actually, but no, it's great fun, because the thing is, you're meeting such interesting people. We're going to do the history of Devizes, which of course is very, very interesting and very relevant. Yeah. But also we're going to be doing things about what's happening today, tomorrow, in the future. Promoting all manner of different things. I mean, we've got no hidden agendas, I mean, it's totally apolitical, it's so if you're a Labour supporter or a Conservative or whatever, you'll get exactly the same airtime, and the same input and enthusiasm as well.
Right, okay. So now, how long has it been? Is it actually fully up and running now?
It's up and running now, yes.
And how long has it been in existence?
From the early part of this year, Phil and I, Phil, hang on a minute, just had my nose fixed, now my mouth won't work. Howard and I started doing some filming early on in the year.
Yeah.
One thing that we filmed is very involved, so that is still, ironically enough, in the editing stage. Right. But we've got about 10 or 12 different segments, which is up on the internet now, and it can be accessed through the computer. All you have to do is just turn the search engine on, and in the box at the top of the screen, just type in www.devizestelevision, all one word, .co.uk, and the teaser will come up, and I'm standing by the Market Cross telling people about the various things that we're going to be talking about. Yeah. And then there's all the specifics. I mean, we've got interviews with the mayor. Rosemary Hawthorne, the Devizes knicker lady.
Yeah.
She's a fascinating lady. She shows basically the evolution of ladies in society, if you will, through their clothing and specifically their underwear. I mean, I have had, this is going to shock you, I've had a pair of Queen Victoria's underwear, undergarments in my hand.
Really?
And, oh yeah, they're big. They're big. But I mean, that's just one thing. I mean, back in the carnival, Anishpatos, the tightrope walker, again, I've done an interview with him and his partner, and they are smashing. They really are lovely people.
Yeah.
But not only have we got the interview, but we had a camera in his hat. So as he's walking across the tightrope, you can actually see what he could see from the tightrope, you know.
Yeah.
And
I must admit, I watched him do that on the day, and I was really, really blown away by it. I think it's fantastic. I think everybody was. I mean, I think in the first instance, people thought, oh, it's going to be a guy walking on a tightrope. But I don't think anybody realised just quite how spectacular it was going to be.
Well, it was. It was showstopper, wasn't it?
Yeah, and of course, that's on the website, isn't it?
That's on our website.
Be able to see that. Yeah,
you can actually see the tightrope walk. Obviously, you can see the interview that I do with Anishpatos and his partner Phoebe, I think the name is. And what's the other bit? Yes, you can actually see from it, because Howard, who's sadly has had to go and sit in the other room because he's got a chest infection, but he actually filmed it, of course, from ground level.
Yeah.
So if you didn't actually get to see it, just scroll onto our website and you can actually see all three.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a break, have a piece of music, and we'll chat some more after we've heard from Paul Young. Every Time You Go Away. I'm chatting with Bill Huntley, and we're talking about Devizes Television, which is a new thing for Devizes. And we'll tell you more about it in just a few minutes' time. That's Paul Young, Every Time You Go Away, at 18 minutes past 9. It's Fantasy Radio. You're listening to The Breakfast Show with me, Phil Dawson, and Debbie is hoovering the carpet at the moment, which is going down really well. I was chatting to Bill Huntley. We're talking about Devizes Television, but you've got something else going on, which is Billy Fury, haven't you? Tell us about Billy Fury.
Well, obviously, I'm going to talk about it, but I can't tell you too much because I want you to actually watch it on our channel, you know. Basically what we've been doing is looking for interesting things and things a little bit off the wall, if you will, that have happened in Devizes and have a Devizes connection. And surprisingly enough, there's a double whammy of, there was back in the late 50s, early 60s, there was a programme on the television called Oh Boy, produced by Jack Good.
Jack Good, yeah.
And arguably, although people like Marty Rod and indeed Cliff Richard were on it, the undoubted star, the one that the girls all used to tune in to watch, was Billy Fury.
Yeah.
I mean, Billy was to be Britain's Elvis, if you will.
That's right, yeah.
And I was remember some years ago, because, and I'll just give you a quick sort of backdrop to it. I was a rock and roll singer, a very poor one, I hasten to add, and then I was a roadshow DJ, so I've kind of flirted, if you will, over the years with, dare I say it, show business.
Yes.
And some years ago, I was talking to one of the ex-Vernon's girls,
yeah.
And they were the girls in the background who did all the doo-wops and whatever behind, and they used to work for Vernon's, the football.
That's right, the football fools, yeah. I remember that, yeah.
They got together. Anyway, I was talking to this lady whose name totally eludes me now. But they were all Liverpool girls, you know, like that. Yeah. She said, well, we all liked Cliff and Marty, they were all lovely. She said, but the one we all loved, that was Billy. And apparently, he was, I mean, he's very, I never ever actually got to see him. But he apparently was fantastically good looking. I mean, everybody I've ever spoken to who's met him, both men and women, said, oh my God, he was handsome. He really was. But he was very, very shy. So what the person you saw on stage, who was all the hip was swollen and curled lips and all the bits and pieces, off stage he was a very, very quiet man. But there is a definite double whammy connection to Devizes. Yeah. And we are doing a special of this. And I'm not going to tell you what it was. I mean,
no, of course.
I've had people coming up to my stall in the market because we've got flyers to give away if you'd like to come and have one and have a look at it, or even take it away and keep it as a souvenir. And I had a guy on my stall the other week, and he said, well, what was the connection, Bill? I said, I'm not going to tell you. He said,
well, watch it, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He said, well, did he appear in the Call Exchange? And I said, not to the best of my knowledge. Might have done, but I don't think so. And he said, did he live in Devizes? No. And then he looked at me and said, you weren't Billy Fury, were you? I said, are you looking at the photographs here? It's a very interesting, well, I find it very interesting because, of course, it's from my era.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And if you like rock and roll, then I think you'll be very, very surprised.
Excellent.
What the double whammy is.
Right. Yeah, good. That would be interesting. We'll find out about that.
Watch this space.
So that's Billy Fury. Of course, he's no longer with us,
Sadly,
unfortunately.
he died at 42. Ironically enough, the same age as Elvis, who was obviously, to a degree, his mentor. You know? He met Elvis. And I was watching a documentary because obviously we're doing backup, to find out all of this, that, and all the other. And he went over to the States because apparently Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, was because Billy's one of his hooks, if you will, to fame was, at the time, he was one of the few singers that was writing his own songs as well.
Ah, yes.
And of course, that was sort of quite newsworthy in those days. I mean, nowadays, so many artists write all their own stuff.
Yeah.
But Billy was actually writing a lot of his stuff. And in fact, he brought an album out called The Sound of Fury. Legend has it they did every song on one take. I can't believe that for 1 minute, but that's the legend.
Well, it was a bit like that back in those days, wasn't it? I mean,
Indeed.
they did just go straight in and do it out again. Yeah.
Well, that's right, yes, because I mean, studio time, I guess, was expensive.
Yeah.
And anyway, I think somebody will pick me up on this, because probably I'm almost sure that every song on that album is penned by Billy Fury.
Right, yeah.
And if you've got a spare album and you want to give it away, I've been trying to get one for years.
Well, I believe it was Ronald Wycherley, wasn't he?
That's right, Ronald Wycherley, yeah.
And I don't know whether we did, this is a possibility, because I know that certain stars who did write their own stuff, they used to write under their own name, didn't they?
That's
they
right.
had a stage name as well, so
Yeah.
I don't know whether he did that.
I think he did it as a pseudonym. Is that the right word? Pseudonym? Yeah. William Wilberforce.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm almost sure that was one of his pen names.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But because the funny thing about his name, of course, was he was signed up by a guy called Larry Parnes.
Yeah.
And Larry Parnes' claim to fame at the time was he was Tommy Steele's manager, and he discovered Marty Wilde, gave them both quite good contracts.
Yeah.
By the time he got to Billy Fury and Dickie Pride and Duffy Power and all these other, he wised up to a degree, and they didn't have very good contracts at all.
No.
In fact, I mean, they had very poor contracts. But and Billy is saying about his stage name, because he'd always wanted to be famous, I guess.
Yeah.
And he had a name in the back of his head, Steve Wade, I think it was. He fancied that. And so when Larry Parnes was thinking up these names and what have you, he said, well, I'd like to be called Steve Wade. And the following morning in the Daily Mirror, and it wasn't Steve Wade, the new rock and roll singer, it was Billy Fury. And Larry Parnes had decided to go with the name that he'd actually thought up,
Well, it didn't do him too badly, did it? Really?
Well, no, he didn't. I mean, sadly, of course, his career was blighted by that ill health.
That's right.
I mean, he looked incredibly well, but the last time I did actually see him was on the television on Marty Wilde's This Is Your Life.
Yeah.
And of course they kept Billy till last because he was the man, And when he walked out through the curtains, there was an audible gasp from people because he did look so ill.
Yeah,
he really did. He'd lost so much weight.
Yeah.
And I heard Marty tell the story because Marty hugged him, and he said, I could tell there was something drastically wrong with him,
It's very sad, yeah. Okay, well, the story about Billy Fury we'll be able to see on Devizes television at some point.
You will indeed, and it will be coming out certainly before Christmas.
That'll be nice.
So you can have Billy Fury and me in your front room for Christmas afternoon.
Both together. Hey, you never thought that would happen, did you? Anyway, listen, thanks ever so much for popping and tell us all about Devizes television.
It's a pleasure.
I mean, just a quick resume. You've got so many things in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've got the Nicker lady. You've got the guy on the tightrope.
Anish Batosh, yes. And good interview with Pete Smith, the mayor. Yeah. Because the camera loves Pete, and Pete is fantastic. He really is. That's a good one to watch. At this moment of time, we're topping and tailing the Armistice Sunday Parade, which should be on later on this week, hopefully. We've also got Bill Underwood, local man. He was in the movie Far From the Madding Crowd that they made in 1966. If you get to see it, when Alan Bates, who plays Gabriel Oak, is playing the flute ostensibly on the market cross, and there's some guys dancing. Well, Bill Underwood is one of the guys dancing.
All right. Yeah.
And what they do, I did with Bill, a beautiful sunshiny day, so we went round to all the different locations that they used in the movie, so that anybody visiting Devizes can say, oh, I'll go and have a look at this, and I'll go and have a look at that. And then we slot the bits in from the movie, so you can see how it actually appeared in the film.
Yes, of course.
We starred Terence Stamp, Julie Christie, a stellar cast, really was. Peter Finch.
And of course, this very building, the Corn Exchange, featured in that film, didn't it?
Yes, it did, downstairs, yes.
As it used to be.
As indeed, yeah. It's rather funny because, I mean, it is very much a trip down memory lane, because when I was a roadshow DJ, I played here so many times, and I can remember, and in the movie, although they've got it dressed obviously for the turn of the century, you can still see the configuration of how it was, you know.
Yes.
And I don't know, nostalgia is a funny old thing. I look at it and I think, I don't know, I think I liked it better then, quite frankly, but obviously...
Yeah, with the balcony at the front of the building.
That's right, from the balcony, and then of course the big stage at the end. And,
that's right, yeah.
Many a romance started there.
Oh, I'm sure, I'm sure. So there's lots and lots of things to see on Devizes television then, and I'd just like to thank you for coming in and telling us all about it, Bill.
It's a great pleasure.
Quick reminder that you can find out what's going on there by switch on your computer and just simply go to devizestelevision.co.uk. Simple enough to do, and it's all there. You'll see Bill's face. You'll recognise him from his market stall. I know that. And Bill will tell you all about Devizes.
Indeed, and if people actually want to come and have a chat with me, I mean, I'm in the market on a Thursday and Saturday with the council market, but the market I run, which is the old Curiosity Market, is in the shambles every Sunday and every Monday. You're very welcome. Pop on up. You might have some stories for me, and sort of say, well, why don't you do this and do that?
Right, that of course is quite an interesting point. If people have got stories to tell about Devizes, I'm sure you'd like to know.
Oh, we'd love to.
As indeed we would here at Fantasy. So
of course,
it's all part of getting Devizes on the map. Well, not that we need to put it on the map, it very much is, but
I mean, Fantasy Radio and Devizes Television, we're going to be working hand in glove, hopefully, Phil, because whilst we were off air, I was chatting to Phil and said, so many of you ladies and gentlemen out there listen to Phil every morning on the breakfast show, as do I, and phone in for requests and so on and so forth. I'm sure you'd love to see where it all comes from and how it all works and what have you. So could we come up and do an interview with you?
I would think that would be a possibility, yes. You better let me know in advance though. Get the makeup artist in and make sure you get my good side.
Oh, I was going to say, don't forget you'll be competing with me, Phil, and so you're bound to look fantastic by comparison to me, I can assure you.
Oh dear. Look, it's 9:28. Time has beaten us. So thank you very much, Bill, for popping in.
It's been a
tell us
pleasure.
all about Devizes Television, and we wish you all the best with that, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
That's very kind, Phil. Thank
Quick
you.
reminder, it's www.devizestelevision.co.uk, and you can find out more about that on your computer mobile.
Thanks, Phil.